Okay, I'm live. This stream won't be too awfully long for me. I just want to more or less cover an announcement, an important announcement, conversation I'm going to be having this Sunday, and also I want to give you folks an opportunity to engage in a little AMA. Ask me anything, whatever's on your mind. Like I say, put it in there in the chat and I'll reference there and we'll go from there. And then, like I say, we'll do this for a little while and I'll make sure I give time for people to get to the stream. Then I'll make my announcement and then I'll probably do another announcement before I tie up the stream. But like I say, not going to be going on for a couple hours today. Try to keep this one fairly short. Like I say, I know short for me. It's maybe a little longer than some people are used to, but it definitely won't be going a couple hours today anyways. All right, just a sec here. Make sure this is all showing up here. Send out the notifications myself, seeing as how YouTube won't do it. I'll do the work for them. Seems to be a thing that seem to be doing a lot of work of a lot of people these days. Okay. All right. And where else do I want to share this bad boy? Oh yeah, I noticed the Gab platform has got a new refreshing look on their site, and I'm really liking it. I like that layout. I like the new layout of Gab. It's a pretty nice layout. Okay. Oh, hey, what's going on, Mr. G Rich? Right on, buddy. How you doing today? Like I say, I just got an announcement to make, and I'm just going to take some questions today, hammer out a few little things. Not even going to be referencing any articles. Just trying to talk with the peeps today. I'm doing great, Mr. G Rich. And how about yourself? Hopefully you're doing great. Like I say, I have to remember to mention to my wife when she gets home about what you were telling me there earlier. What's going on, Wizard Online? Yeah, thank God it's Friday, right? Yeah, for sure. Although sometimes it's, I don't know, Friday, Monday, Saturday. I suppose every day with Trudeau in charge is not necessarily a good day, right? but we have to find ways to function regardless, right? So, but thanks. So glad to hear that, Mr. G Rich. Glad to hear it. Actually, I'll mention to you too, like I say, now that there's 8 members, I'm gonna probably soon within the next week or so or two figure out when I'm going to do I'll do a live stream and then do it so that it's just for the members only, and we'll do our own little exclusive stream and have a private chat amongst you folks. Oh yeah, it's a good one for sure. Yeah, it's just like I say, well, I put it out on all my social media pages, and I even put it out as a community post. I'm not sure if you got the notification, but I did it as a community post earlier on. Right on. But I'm having a conversation, and it's a conversation that's been in the making. We've had a couple opportunities. Well, we had it set up a couple different times scheduled, but because David was traveling, I believe he was in the U.S. at the time, and he was having issues with his connectivity. Anyways, so we've had to postpone it, but we're doing it today. And actually, if you look down in the scrolling banner at the bottom, that's basically what the announcement is we're going to be having a conversation, and David is the co-host with Tim Moen Liberty Journey, that YouTube channel that I let you folks know about a little while back. No, I got notified on YouTube about a stream first. Oh, right on. I got notified on YouTube about the stream. Right on. Well, that's actually awesome. Glad. Well, you know what? Nothing in the, think about it though. There was nothing in the stream or the heading or in the description that had anything to do with COVID. So I don't know if that has to do with it, right? Oops, I said the C word. Oh no. Anyways, like I say, so me and David are going to be having a conversation, and it's a really, really important topic. And as you can see, the heading that I put up for the or the title, I should say, for our conversation or discussing, that what we'll be discussing is statism. Millennials find new faith in an old idea. So, like I say, we're basically going to be hammering out on, especially the young people, but this might even appeal to some of the people in the younger cohort in terms of Gen Zers, but predominantly millennials are the ones that, are basically coming to that age at this particular time. And of course, for me personally, I have 2 millennial age sons, so I definitely want to deal with this topic. But it does seem that statism, most young people today don't like old style religions like Christianity that I grew up in. It just doesn't appeal to them. But because most people today recognize and realize that, morality has to come from somewhere and ethics has to come from somewhere, right? Where do they look today? Right? Based on the way they're being indoctrinated or educated, however you want to look at that, it's basically the thought leaders and opinion makers in their life are basically telling them that, oh no, it's the state, it's government. Government is the new religion, and millennials, or at least a substantial portion of them, are definitely believers. Which, like I say, we're definitely going to want to hammer down on that topic and just get right into the nitty gritty of what that will mean going forward. If we do have, successive generations being raised under the pretense of mysticism, but rather than the abstract concept, aka God, right, as the arbiter of authority or tell us how to live, right, or treat each other. No, it's government, politicians, and that's much, much more dangerous, as I've talked about so many times in the past. But this is, like I say, it's going to be a great conversation. And like I say, that's going to be this Sunday, as you see scrolling across the bottom. It's going to be this Sunday, May 17th. It's going to be at 10:30 Eastern time. So depending on where you're in the country, and I'm sorry, but David, we wanted to do it earlier in the day, and David wanted to go. We both actually wanted to go earlier in the day, and that was the time that we both agreed on. I know it's going to be a little bit earlier for some of you folks on the West End. 3 hours behind in BC, that will put you at about 7:30, but that's not too bad. Maybe get up a little bit extra early, throw on the instead of your regular caffeine, maybe throw on some of that stronger Colombian stuff, right? And maybe add a little of the Irish cream in there to really get you perked up in the morning. Anyways, but I definitely am really looking forward to this conversation, because it's a conversation that I haven't necessarily had with anyone prior to this. And David seems to be a really wise guy and fairly articulate in his message and his information. He comes from the objectivist background in terms of Ayn Rand and her philosophy. So we're definitely going to be having a great discussion regarding the millennials and this their reverence for the state. And like I say, not all, obviously. My sons, I have 2 sons that are millennials, and they're definitely not statists, right? So not saying that they all are, but we definitely recognize there's a substantial portion of that younger cohort who do have a tremendous amount of belief in their authority, which, like I say, can be quite detrimental and dangerous, not just for them, but for everyone else that have to live and function around them as well, right? So, like I say, I'm going to be really looking forward to having that conversation. Am I late? No, Kaz, you're good. You're fine. Just got your notification. Awesome. Right on. Good to hear that you're a millennial there, anarchist, are largely socialists. Yes. Well, then you might want to definitely join us, me and David. Actually, I'm not sure if David is a millennial himself. He seems like a younger man. Or maybe he's just aged much better than people like myself. Or Tim definitely looks older. David looks a little younger there. So I'm not sure. He might even be a millennial himself. But yeah, I definitely recognize that socialism does seem to be quite prevalent, or the belief in the state. And, like I say, it's dangerous, and it is prevalent among the young people. So if that's something that appeals to you, you're definitely going to want to join us for that conversation. So thanks for joining me today there, the anarchist. All right, Howard G got the notice. Sweet. My kids are both in their early 20s. Perfect. Boy and a girl, and both seem to be pretty aware of the BS in the air. Right on. Of course, they got you in their life, though, right? That's the thing that I guess a lot of us that have to reflect upon when we're talking about these people, and which is why I always have to use the disclaimer, not all. Like I say, whether we're talking about boomers, Gen Xers, especially when you're talking about demographics, right? Or large collectives or cohorts, is we really have to, to be properly nuanced when you're talking about these things, you have to emphasize that these are basically just generalized statements as a means of discussion, as a means to further the discussion, right? To dig down to. Then you get into the nuanced aspect of it. But as a heading or whatever, and I don't try to get into sensationalized type of heading, but it is true that there is a substantial portion of the younger people who are big fans and believers in the state, but like people like Mr. G. Rich or myself or possibly the anarchist. Well, I'm not sure if obviously the anarchist, if he's a millennial, yeah, he might have children of his own though, right? Is if you have people like us in their lives, like that's the thing for these younger people, as long as they have, even if it's like even some of my kids' friends, right? Or shouldn't say kids, not kids, they're full grown men. My son's friends have a fundamental grasp and understanding in regards to individual liberty or libertarianism as well. And why? Because I have taught my children to think critically about issues. And it's not just what I tell them to think, because trust me, my kids are every bit as rebellious. Well, not so much as every bit as rebellious. I think I still a little one up on them on that a little bit, but they're very much independent and critical thinkers. They don't just go by what their dad says, and because I've taught them at a very early age. Even when I tell them things, I want you to challenge me, which both of my sons have definitely done, and I'm very proud of them for doing it. But like I say, because they have me in my life or in their life and other people that they surround themselves with, right? They espouse the same kind of stuff in regards to critical thinking skills and thinking down deeply into these issues, which, like I say, helps not just them, but other people in their community or in their peer groups to start thinking more critically about these issues as well. So like, it's always good to have, at least one person, right? That's something you might never get to the point where you have a majority of people that are critical thinkers, but at least if you have someone challenge the status quo or the orthodoxy run around in most people's heads, it's that one person, right? That one person that says that one thing that makes you really think. That is what is required. And I'm very thankful and appreciative of the fact that I have two sons, and apparently Mr. G. Rich has a couple kids that are out there helping to try to break some of their peers free from that indoctrinated mindset. So good for you, Mr. G. Rich. And I'm happy that you're both your boy and girl. Lucky for you. Well, I ended up with two boys. Me and the wife were thinking about having a third child and hoping that it was going to be a girl, but we figured, if we keep doing that, you could end up with 4, 5, 6 before you get that point. I don't know. Like I say, hindsight being 2020, I kind of do wish we had maybe tried at least one more chance, but we're getting a little late on years. Of course, me as the man, I could still do it, but the wife, not really up for starting all over again. So it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. But I'm just proud as heck to have the two amazing sons that I have anyway. So, but then again, yeah, exactly. See, we were two great minds think alike, right, Mr. G. Rich? Because that's literally what I was saying, obviously. Punches in time card, I hear was punches in time card. I hear I was MIA for a few. Oh, you were MIA. A little missing in action there, were you, Thucko? XP. They get bombarded with mainstream media all across. I know, right? And even on YouTube now. That's the thing. Even YouTube obviously is prioritizing the mainstream media outlets. That's the hilarious part. I like to prioritize what used to be your competition, right? Like, who does such a thing? I mean, only once you've grown into the behemoth what you are, like YouTube, and have a completely different figurehead at the top, would you ever get to the point where these disruptors of the establishment are now propping them up, like propping the establishment up. Like, how weird and how Orwellian is that, right? It's very, very, very crazy stuff. The whole point of these alternative media platforms was to challenge the status quo, but they're cozying up to each other, folks. So that's a dangerous precedent to set, right? The religious institutions are no better. No, God forbid they speak out against evil and lose their tax-free. Exactly. I know. Well, that's the problem. I know a lot of people, especially from Gen Xers like myself. That's why a lot of us turned away from religion, because we've seen the nonstop hypocrisy and contradictions. The do as I say, not as I do thing. You want all the young people that go to these churches, these institutions, you want this all to be these perfect, children of God, right? And do all the right things. Meanwhile, we were constantly seeing all the time where it's like they're just walking, talking hypocrites or contradictions, which is why a lot of us, maybe even I think the boomers even, right, during their time when they were younger, started pivoting away from the orthodoxy of Christianity. But why? It wasn't that Christianity had some bad things. There was great things contained within Christianity. It was those fallible people that, were the heads of these religious institutions that taught and espoused the kind of stuff from the Bible, but from their own perspectives and based on what they wanted, how they wanted societies to unfold. Not how God wanted society, but how they themselves personally perceived how their other fellow man, woman, or child should act or behave. Well, basically, like I say, the state has now taken up that role. Why? Because, like I say, from the boomers and the Gen Xers, we've been disenfranchised with the nonstop contradictions and do as I say, not as I do kind of mentality from the religious institutions of old. But like I say, now that I look at it today, is well, it'd be much better. Although that's the thing, I reject both of them. So it's not like I'd want to go back to that place. No, I think there's a better path going forward, which is philosophy and things like UPB, Stephen Molyneux, objectivism, Ayn Rand. There's lots of philosophies out there, and there's philosophical concepts, libertarianism, the non-aggression principle, that we can use to fill that void without having to pivot to the state, without having to pivot to God or government. And I get that some people still want to pivot to God, and like I said, I have a personal relationship myself, but that's not something I bring out to the social sphere or when I'm out in public. I see a lot that seem to be interested in nothing but their phone. It's kind of scary with some of these kids. I know that's true, but actually on their phone, that's when they're on their phone, chances are they're not talking on the phone, because that's one thing I will mention. Even my two sons that are millennial age sons is, yeah, if they don't use their phones, they use their phones for just about everything except as a phone, right? I kid you not. And that's the way it is for me anyways, personally, what I've observed. So a lot of the times they're using that phone as their own personal computer. And as long as they're using that to get themselves up to speed and knowledgeable on some very important topics or subjects, I'm all for it. But obviously, as we recognize, a lot of them are using them as a tool to distract them from the craziness that goes on in the real world. It's a form of distraction. It's a form of escaping the insanity of the real world, right? A lot of people in the past, or even people today, might choose to use alcohol or drugs or adrenaline, hyperadrenaline type activities, such as myself, right? To put your mind in a totally different place, to put you in a totally different area where you're thinking differently about things. But I'm just, like I say, I'm just really happy to know that the young people at least have access to the information. Are they taking advantage of it? Not necessarily, not all, obviously. But the information is there. So at the very least, I'm glad that they have access to the information. I do wish more and more that they would actually click on the things that have that information at their disposal and take advantage of the fact that they live in the age of information, right? Rather than just using it for distractions. But I kind of get it. For anyone to be healthy psychologically or mentally, you do have to find some form of escapism if you understand just how crazy this world is. And actually, the more you understand just how crazy the world is, chances are the more you're going to want to turn or pivot towards escapism in some way, right? Even myself, like I said, I try to find some form or some method to escape the madness from time to time. And I firmly believe that it helps maintain my sanity. But of course, the worst thing, if you take that too far, could be literally burying your head in the sand or in your phone or in your distractions and never looking up to deal with that real world. Well, that real world is going to be functioning and continuing on. Time marches on whether you're paying attention or not, right? So that's one thing I would definitely say for the young people today. You're definitely going to want to take your nose out of your phone or those distractions, at least for long enough to realize what the hell is truly going on. Got to give some credit to a few pastors out there. I saw one on Rebel News in Ontario that was standing. Yes, I seen that. That guy was awesome. Awesome. They did that, and they did it perfectly, right? Because they made sure everybody was, isolated in their own vehicles. That's the way you do it, right? So it was a form of civil disobedience by the letter of the law, but it also made it so profoundly difficult for those law enforcement officers or those enforcers, right? Those order followers to even do anything to crack down the guy, because they realized that it would not only would it look bad as a spectacle in terms of pointing out just how authoritarian they are, but there's no way to spin that politically, right? There's not even a way to spin it politically in their favor, considering the guy was wise enough to make sure that, all the people were in their cars. He was using the radio station to broadcast. So wise, like I say, if you're going to perform an act of civil disobedience, which I definitely advocate for, if you're going to do something like that, go for it. You know, that's the point. That's the point of having your rights and your freedoms to protest, and all these things, right? You're not beholding to be ruled over. There's nothing written in any Constitution, Bill of Rights, or anywhere that says that you have to take whatever the government throws at you, right? Nope, you do have a right to challenge the ruling class. And if you don't understand that concept, well, you're already too far gone, and you're already enslaved psychologically. But if you're going to do it, definitely be wise about it, and make sure you don't give anyone in the media or anyone that represents the ruling class any fodder to use against you. That would be my recommendation. But that, like what that gentleman did, and the people that were part of his congregation, kudos and thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. However, I'm not much of a supporter of religion. Hey, I get it. I totally get it. I totally understand it. Well, the problem with religion is because you have to build it off of fictional constructs or impossibilities. Not too many people like that. Well, unless you're a leftist or a statist, right? I don't know how these people like to function with so many contradictions roaming around their head. I don't know. It's crazy, right? Look what Pope Francis said about liberty. Yeah, what did he say again? Pope Francis, and did the guy ever? This is the crazy part. It's like libertarians or libertarianism. Did the guy even did you ever even look up what a libertarian, like how long does it take, right, for the Pope or get one of his lackeys or someone? I mean, come on. There's quite a few people in that what do you call it there? The Vatican over there. I'm pretty sure they got access to a computer and a Google search string, right? Or DuckDuckGo or or Yahoo or Bing or something. So all they'd have to do, right, is type it in. What is libertarian? Self-ownership, property rights. Like I own myself and anything that I produce or provide, right? And the non-aggression principle. Basically, like the golden rule. Basically, so what? Is he turned against Jesus too? Because if Jesus was alive today, the Pope would be saying, look at that freaking dirty libertarian, right? Look at that guy. What's up with that guy, right? They'd be nailing him to the cross today. The Pope would be nailing him to the cross today because Jesus Christ himself, the way he talked, and the things that he represented, Jesus was a libertarian. So the Pope would be your modern day, the Roman emperor that would crucify Jesus himself for daring to espouse libertarian values and principles, right? Basically, that's my thoughts on that. Anyways, what do you think? They're anarchists. That's pretty insane shit, right? Awesome. You got to notice, like I say, notice no COVID. Oh, damn, I said it again. Uh-oh. That's the other thing too, though. I can't monetize my videos till after. I don't know why. I've done all the little things that YouTube has asked me where every time I have to fill out this stupid little questionnaire. Is there any inappropriate language? I shared it with you folks in a prior stream, that all the things that now we have to do when we're uploading our videos if you have a monetized channel. And I'm doing everything they ask and require of me. Literally, like doing everything they ask and require me, bending the knee to these dipshits basically, so that I can at least have my information put out there. And they still constantly trying to suppress not just the ability to get my content out there, but the fact that I can't even monetize till after. So let's say the stream ties up, and even if I've only had a couple hundred views or so, I'm not going to get paid for those. Because when I try to monetize it before doing the stream, every time I go to leave the page, it says unsaved changes, blah, blah, blah. So I have to, and when I reload it, then it takes away my monetization. It goes back to being turned off. So I can't turn my monetization. Now, once I'm done the stream, I can go in subsequent to that and try to monetize it. Well, once they've processed it, then I can monetize it. But then hours have gone by and most of the views have gone by, which means what? I'm going to get paid for the what? The few stragglers that come around later to watch it. I don't know. Anyways, it is what it is, which is why I don't try to bring my own problems too much. I mean, I mentioned it to you folks just so you know what the hell's going on. But I don't want to overwhelm you folks with the crap that I have to deal with. It's bad enough I have to deal with it. But anyways, moving on. But hey, thanks for mentioning that truth sharing mirror that you did get the what's going on? YYC UAV. YYC UAV. Oh, Red Bull dirt biker. Right on. My kind of guy right there. Is that the old 4-stroker? Is that a KTM or a Honda? It's hard to tell. It's kind of small if it's a KTM or a Honda. Is it the 450, the 250? Not sure. Love the big bad boys, the 450s, obviously. I'm a big fan. 250s are pretty rocking too. They got that, a little bit light, a little more lightweight. Can be a little more fun to play around, toss around. Anyways, moving on. Plus, if any of you have time after the stream to leave a comment in the comment section of your video. Yes. I remember that. Yes, Mr. G Rich. Thumbs up. It would really help out with YouTube's algorithms for the channel. Yes, in addition to that, and thanks for bringing that up, G Rich. I really appreciate that. But in addition to that, because I've heard not just from my son, which his own YouTube channel, he has a couple, but his big YouTube channel, which has over 130,000 subscribers or whatever, he's talked to me about this. He's talked to a few of the people in YouTube in regards to that early on. And the two main things from what he said and what he relayed to me is it's the click-through rate. That's a big one. Watch time and click-through rate. So watch time obviously is when you do click on a video or a stream, however long you can leave that bad boy playing. Like I say, even if you put it in the background, if you have unlimited bandwidth, like if you have a internet connection that has unlimited, then just let that bad boy play in the background, especially if you have a decent connection. Because I can even do that even at my crappy internet connection. So I know if you got better internet connection than I have in this crappy rural area, you can definitely throw my video or my stream in the background, let it play, even if you don't necessarily want to watch it entirely. But if you let it play, that watch time plays a huge effect in helping me in terms of the algorithms. The other big thing, in addition to that, is the click-through rate. So basically, whenever you see anything that shows up in your recommended, so let's say you watch my channel or my streams and you've watched the last, let's say 4 or 5 of my streams, or 3 out of the 5. Eventually, if you keep watching enough my content, eventually, it'll take time, but eventually YouTube will start sending that in the recommended section to you. So when you open up your YouTube, you'll see in the recommended that 8 or 12, however many that shows up in the box there, you'll see one of my videos or one of my latest videos or one of my newest videos will be there in the recommended. Well, as long as when that goes into that recommended section, if you click on it, and like I say, let it play. If you click on it and let it play, that tells the algorithm that this person is interested in watching this channel when we recommend it. And that sends that algorithm the message that, yes, let's prioritize this video in the recommended feed because we put it in there and they clicked on it. So it's something that obviously appeals them. If you see it in there, like even myself, when I scroll through my pages and I see someone that I follow, and let's say I don't even want to watch it right now. I'm a little busy on YouTube. I'm watching something else. Well, rather than closing it or just clicking straight on that video, which takes you from your home page to the new video that you want to watch, well, then you've destroyed, like, once you've done that, then the recommended realize that out of all those videos, whatever one you click to watch, the other ones were of lesser priority. So to me, what you do is if you leave your home page open on YouTube and then just right click and open in a new tab. If you open your new video that you want to watch, if you prioritize it over mine, if you open it in a new tab, then you haven't clicked past my video. And then you can just go back to your homepage, click on mine later. And then, like I say, then you have the click-through rate functioning properly where they seen, okay, well, they seen it in their feed, they seen it in recommended, and they clicked on it, which is going to prioritize going forward my videos in their stream. Because that, like I say, the click-through rate and watch time are the two biggest factors. Of course, it also helps too if you comment, like, subscribe, all those little things like what G Rich was alluded to and commenting, that definitely helps as well. But the two most important things that help is click-through rate and watch time. If you can help me out in that way as much as you possibly can, then I probably can get my channel to get a little bit more of an audience and bring more and more people to learning about liberty, which at the end of the day, it's a benefit not just for me, but it's a benefit for all of us, right? Anyways, thanks for that helpful advice. I really appreciate that. Oh, look, somebody else became a member. This is awesome. Aha, the Wizard Online. Thank you very much, Wizard Online. Let me just go to my YouTube channel and check, see. So special shout out to you, Wizard Online, for your membership, and I really appreciate it. So that's 9 now. So I'm definitely going to get to the point where we're going to have a nice private chat or a private stream, and then you folks can join in the private chat, and it'll be a more exclusive type thing. I just want to see what level you picked, just to see if you are going to be eligible for that as well. So let me just go into, sorry, folks, just give me one moment. Oh yeah, let me close up a couple of my social media pages here too, so I'm not using up too much of the old bandwidth here. That's what I mean. In my rural part of the country, darn it. I did see my subscriber I gained more than I lost. I'm still down, but at least it's kind of going back the other way a little bit. So that's a good thing. That's positive. Okay, monetization, memberships. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. The Wizard Online. Liberty Leader. Frick, that's awesome. So that means you're at the very top echelon in terms of that. So that means for you, Wizard Online, and like I say, really appreciate your support. That's awesome. That's very generous of you. So just to let you know, for that level as a Liberty Leader, which is, like I say, awesome, bang on. You get not only the special shout out, but you're definitely going to get access to the private members chat. For upcoming streams. Like I say, it'll be exclusive just for me and the private members. In addition to that, you also can come onto my channel 3 times in the run of the year. I'm not going to be overly restrictive or not restrict. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, even if it goes beyond a little bit beyond a year, it's not. I'm still going to give you the opportunity anyways. But basically, 3 times you're invited to come onto my stream anytime you want. Either when I'm doing my own live stream, I can do it then when I'm doing a live stream and bring you into the chat then. Or I think would be more beneficial to you would be if you want to reach out to me in message form and say, let's cover this particular topic or subject matter. And we'll do the stream, you and I, or I can do it with you and I. You can bring up to 6 people in the chat. And although 6 people, I think, would be a little bit too overwhelming. I don't think going any more than 4 would be probably beneficial. But like I say, we could all coordinate. Some of you folks in the membership, we could coordinate where we could pick a particular topic, and I could bring at least 3 of you on at a time. And I think actually there's only 3 at this particular time, 3 or 4 of you that are at the Liberty Leader level. Anyways, holy crap, tongue-tied. But so that would be enough so that we could all, and like I say, you can do that up to 3 times in the run of a year. And so if you want to do that, like I say, pick a topic or a subject, or when I'm doing a stream, just reach out to me in message form or send it or send it in the chat and let me know, and I'll bring you onto the stream. So thanks a lot. And I appreciate all the help and the support that you're giving. So have a great day in terms of what you want to think about. Or sorry, I'm just getting a little baffled because I'm trying to do 2 different things here. Give yourself some time to think about what you would like to discuss, and like I say, just mention it to me at some point in time in the future, and we'll do it. And like I say, when you're not on my YouTube channel, because it's really hard for me to stay on top of all the comments on everything, the best way to contact me outside of YouTube is through Facebook or Twitter or mine. So if you have one of those accounts, then just private message me on either one of those social media platforms, and I'll get back to you. I usually get back to people really quickly. If it's late at night, not so much, because I usually shut my computer down late at night and that's it. Spend time in the evenings with the wife and stuff. But as soon as I get up in the morning, that's the first things I'm checking is those things, messages, plus my other email platforms and stuff. Now I'm getting much better actually at checking my emails. I didn't used to check my emails, but I get a lot more emails these days, so I definitely got to try to stay on top of it. Anyways, thank you once again, there, Wizard Online. Appreciate that very much. Okay, back to what's going on here. Oh yeah, about the Pope and libertarianism. Jeez. Oh yeah, we got that. Hey, from Calgary here. P.S. If any of you have time after stream. Oh, wait a minute. I saw that already. Okay. Yep. Saw that one already. Aha, Missy. I seen Missy here, but it scrolled way past here real quick. Let me get back down here. Where did Missy go? Where did she go? There we go. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, come on. Stop that. Dang it. I gotta get this figured out at some point in time why it goes so fast by. There we go. We got it. Hey, Missy. Oh, by the way, I know it sounds a little bit picky. He's like, how dare you, Bennett? No, but I do. I really do. Although I guess it's easier, when you're doing on there. I'll give you a pass, you and Leo, I guess. But, oh, man, I'm just not a fan of Ben. If you would feel more comfortable using Bennett, I definitely would. But like I say, I'll allow a pass. I'm not going to be too particular, I guess. But glad that you saw the stream. Just got home, saw it. Awesome. I did that just for you. I timed it just right. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. There's a very small understanding of libertarian philosophy. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. That's the scary thing. At least if you're in the US, there's at least a decent minority of the population down there that understands it, right? But yeah, in Canada, I hear you. I hear you. Whew, it's like trying to herd cats, right? Very difficult task trying to explain libertarianism. Well, the other thing too is obviously the way the media portrays libertarians too, right? They've been what it is. A lot of people in Canada have been propagandized so negatively because the media hacks or those who like big government, like I say, anyone that challenges big government, they want to point to you as being an enemy of not just the state, but of enemy of what? Like, right? Oh, because the government's the protector of society. Oh, you must be a bad person, want bad things to happen to society, right? You know the kind of rhetoric they espouse. And it's such low resolution thinking, right? The upcoming vote will be a shocker for the liberty that has been stepped on. I'm not sure what the vote you're talking about. I'm not even sure when the next time we're going to. Hey, I don't know. Trudeau might try to rewrite the laws. I mean, now with his basically order in council, what's his next order in council? I'm going to appoint myself like Xi Jinping is. There's not going to be any more elections. It's just going to be Trudeau from now until he passes, right? I don't know. Wow. I know, right? Live and let live is seen. Like, that's the part that's so insane. Like, how thoroughly indoctrinated do you have to be for when someone's saying, I want you to be free, and I think that you should allow other people to be free too. Like, when you're saying that to people, like, to be like, oh, you're a bad person. Like, how much cognitive dissonance, how much program, how much indoctrination is still resting or residing or rolling around in that head for you to reject people that are saying, yeah, you should be free and you should allow other people to have freedom as well, right? Or have adopt a live let live mentality, right? Like I say, they'd be condemning and cursing Jesus Christ himself today. Yeah, I agree. Although I hate to, I mean, sometimes crap isn't that bad. We use it for fertilizer, right? So at least crap has some usefulness, right? Whereas the MSM, not so much, right? How are all you beautiful Canadians doing it there? Missy, always in a good, positive, upbeat mood. I love it. I friggin' love it. It's so crazy how YouTube content has changed, especially over the last 3 years. So in the beginning, it was a great platform. Yeah, I agree, Mr. G. Rich. Well, like it was amazing. I mean, if you even knew, like, I mean, I've probably forgotten more than a lot of people could even understand these because I was just like a kid in a candy store, right? When all this stuff, especially once I started learning, about a decade or so ago, when I started learning about liberty and everything, is like the amount of resources and material out there to get you up to speed is just, it's amazing. Like it's a massive amount of, and like well articulated. I mean, just pure geniuses, stone cold geniuses that have come up and properly articulated all the premises and principles of what it is to be a free human being. And I took full advantage of it. And like, it's still out there, but it's becoming more and more suppressed, more and more hidden, more and more, the channels have been deleted. It does seem like, the allotment of material resources out there for us, it definitely does seem to be shrinking by a substantial margin. Which I'll just let you know right now, if I could ever figure it a way where I could have a whole bunch of backup servers myself, that's the thing. If I was independently wealthy in some way, or if I had some serious resources to do so, I have enough material saved. I have about 4 or 5 terabytes of stuff saved up on multiple backup drives that I would love to put up there in some location or like a secured encrypted website or somewhere where everybody could come have access to it freely. I'll add, because that I would have it out there and offered available freely, but it would obviously require a tremendous amount of not just money and resources for me to do that, but even just the internet speed. So I can't do it currently in my location. If I ever get to the point, like if Elon Musk gets Starlink up there and we can get some really high-speed broadband connections out in the rural parts of Canada, where I could upload these things. Because like I say, terabytes of of information uploading, in these really low bandwidth and low speed connections, such as where I live. it would take a century. No, I kid. It probably wouldn't take that long, but it would take a long, long time for me to be able to do so. But like I say, it's all there. I got tremendous, and of course, there's still even more than that. It's not like I have access to every piece of resource material, but I do have a lot. Documentaries, videos, books, mostly in all PDF form, obviously, right? But literature, treatises written by lots of the figureheads of the Enlightenment. I mean, just like I say, a tremendous amount of resources that I have. And hopefully someday, well, I mean, just on my channel alone, I have 1,100 some videos that pertains and covers a tremendous amount of information on that. But that's I'm not even including, I'm talking in addition to those 1,000 or 1,100 videos on my YouTube channel. So like I say, if I can get to the point at some point in time where I can have all that information and resources where I can just say, here, go here and just have a field day. It's a free for all. Matter of fact, there are a lot of tremendous, or there are a lot of places that have listing and access to resources. Actually, now that I think about that, actually, let me type it into a notepad. I'll try to remember that. Try to get you folks where I'll try to look for some information, because that's a good thing to have, is some central area or some location where you can go and get access to a tremendous amount of information, like a one-stop shop kind of deal, right? Not saying that a one-size-fits-all is the approach I would recommend, but like I say, for this particular stuff, then it would be good to have a lot of resource material in one place. So will I upload video or do a stream with links to resource material, liberty related? Yeah, I'll do that. Liberty related. Okay, let me just minimize that now, because yeah, that's a good idea. That's what I'll do. I'll try to get a bunch of that, because I have covered it in the past. I'll have to do a little bit of searching and look back through that stuff, but I will definitely do that, because I recognize that it's getting a little bit harder and harder to find some of that great information. Check out Bennett's Twitter. Take a look at Bennett Hunter, Canadian Libertarian. Right on. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't have Canadian Libertarian on Twitter. Somebody must have used it. Dirty buggers. Dirty rotten. So I had to go with CAN_Libertarian. But anyways, G Rich found me this morning, so that's good. That's good, because he didn't know I had a Twitter account too. Oh, by the way, let me just mention, in addition to the other announcement that I made already in regards to my conversation I'm going to be having with David, I should mention too that if you go to the About, or as a Canadian, the About section of my YouTube channel, you can see, if you scroll down the bottom, where there's links to all of my social media pages. So like I say, Minds, Gab, ThinkSpot, Locals, Twitter, Facebook. Is there more? I don't know, but anyways, you'll see they're all on there anyway, so you can find me on all kinds of alternative outlets, because that's the other thing. If you're not getting notification on YouTube, if you're on Minds, you probably get a notification when I upload, because I always share that stuff on Minds. Same with Facebook, same with Twitter. So check out some of my other social media pages as well. Thanks, Missy, by the way. Please hit the thumbs up and share on all your social media. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. You're darn right, Missy. Hey, what's going on, Ken Rose? A funny for you guys. A 96-year-old man gets an 87-year-old woman pregnant. What? And she gave birth to a 46-year-old truck driver from Kamloops. You know, you do know that this isn't real, eh? I don't even know. Did that just skip right over my head? Okay, 96-year-old man gets an 87-year-old woman pregnant, and she gave birth to a 46-year-old truck driver from Kamloops. That skipped right over my head there, Ken. I'm not even. Oh, it's a funny, but I get it. I get it's funny, but I don't know. Like I say, kind of feel like a dodo brain right now for not quite catching on exactly. But sometimes we shut our brains off for a bit. Yeah, you kind of have to, right? Yep. It's true. It is true. But, and like I've said in the past, sometimes I can kind of understand why they don't want to be truly knowledgeable about the world that surrounds them. The old expression that ignorance is bliss, yeah, it's an old expression for a reason, right? After I saw that video on Rebel News, I sent an email to the police in that town expressing my disgust if they were going to give them fines. Yeah, no doubt. Sickening stuff. Well, good for you for doing that, Mr. G. Rich. Anyways, let me just mention again that announcement. As you can see, it's scrolling across the bottom right now, but I'm just going to announce it again for the few of you folks that weren't here when I did the original announcement. So I'm going to be doing a live stream with David Baum. What's his name again? Anyways, he's the co-host with Tim Moen on Tim Moen's YouTube channel called Liberty Journey, Tim Moen Liberty Journey. And they do their, I think it's a weekly podcast, and they cover and discuss lots of liberty-oriented topics or subjects, just like I do. And like I say, they really get down to the nitty-gritty of it. And David comes from an objectivist philosophical mindset. Tim Moen, obviously a libertarian. And because objectivists and libertarians definitely have a lot or share a lot and agree on a tremendous amount of things, there is some overlap in terms of their philosophical thinkings or the principles. But there are definitely some areas that objectivists and libertarians agree on. But because both the camps are very competent and have the wherewithal and the knowledge to defend their positions, it can usually prove to be quite engaging and thoroughly thought-provoking discussion. So like I said, definitely check them out. Anyways, me and David, we've been talking about for roughly, a little bit over a month or maybe a month and a half or so now about getting together and coordinating our schedule so that we can have a conversation regarding millennials and their reverence for the state, which is why I'm going to be calling this stream that we're going to be doing this Sunday, May 17th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. What's the name of it again? Oh, yeah, it's right here. Let's just wait for the scroll to come across. Statism. Millennials find new faith in an old idea. So it's in regards to the younger people, millennials in particular, but also, like I say, I'm hoping that some of the younger people from Gen Z even get a chance to watch this video possibly, or maybe get shared around to them so they can get a chance and see. Because there's a definite, profound negative effect that it's not going to have just on their psychology, but on our social or economic systems going forward, when you have a whole substantial portion of that cohort that are, have that kind of reverence for the state and believe in socialism or government as the ultimate means to an end. So this should prove to be a very engaging and thought-provoking discussion between the two of us. So I hope you'll join us, like I say, this Sunday, May 17th, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Should prove to be, like I say, a pretty engaging and thought-provoking discussion, and I'm really personally excited to have this conversation. So I hope a bunch of you will join us, and let other people know about it too, so they'll join us as well. We have had a few years to process the info of all the new evil and corruption. Some will awake, though, through shock and awe. We will need to help them, in my opinion. Yes. Well, shock and awe, that's the thing. The shock and awe is that cognitive dissonance. And I know that's a hard one, but sometimes that's needed. That's the thing. Right now, at that particular time, when they're going through that shock and awe, it can be a little bit overwhelming. And chances are they may shy away and not want to get into that kind of confrontation or that kind of thought-provoking conversation, right? But once you give them time to go back in the privacy of their home or the privacy of their mind, and where they can start to collect and think about these things in their own mind, chances are it might entice them to maybe want to follow up further with you at a subsequent time, which is, like I say, if that's at the least that you can get, well, I'd say that you've already helped out tremendously, because once people have started down that rabbit hole or start to pop that red pill, as they say, chances are a lot of times they continue on, right? Very few people that I've ever heard of, or I've ever heard other people talk about or discuss these things, have ever said, oh yeah, I heard about libertarianism and people tried to tell me it, and then I just walked away entirely. Some do, right? But if you're genuinely curious or inquisitive at all, once you've heard a term or word that you've never heard before, like I say, curiosity usually gets the best of us. And once they head down, like I say, down that road and start learning about what libertarians or the philosophy of liberty entails, it's like, oh, it's just like me, just like you, just like most people in the streams. Like, yeah, I completely accept and I can adopt that. Matter of fact, that's how I usually live my life every day. Going through life, respected property rights and respecting that people own themselves and not using preemptive force or violence, coercion, or theft towards people. Yeah, having a live, let live mentality, right? That's actually how most people function every day of their lives. So, of course, most people, once they've started to learn about what the philosophy of liberty entails, eventually pivot towards it, adopt it for their own selves in their personal lives, and help spread and espouse that to help other people in their society or the communities as well. So, like I say, that word of mouth definitely goes a long way. And whether you got to do it, the harsh, abrupt way, or in other different methods or using different tactics, whatever works best for you, because it's not going to be a one size fits all for everyone either, right? Next morning, the cops were right behind me. It was a coincidence, though. You had that, the cops in the rearview mirror, that sinking feeling, right? And that's the thing. We all know that sinking feeling when you see the cop behind you with the lights on, even if they're just, traveling to, some event that they just fly right on by you. I mean, the fact that most people, when they see those sirens in the rearview mirror or in the side mirror, get a little bit alarmed or panicked. Well, that just tells you, that even people that claim to have reverence for the state or respect the authority of these folks, obviously, why? Is it that you respect them or is it that you fear them, right? And if you fear them, well, that's a totally different thing than having respect or respecting the fundamental justice or principles that these people suppose or pretend to uphold. That's the big issue, right? There should not be this constant divisiveness between those who are supposed to be the protectors of rights, freedom, and liberties, but in the end, ultimately, they're the ones that are actually imposing their will or denying those inherent rights, freedom, and liberties rather than defend them. That's why a lot of people today perceive those in law enforcement or police officers or order followers as their enemy. And you know what? For the most part, they're correct. Jesus, the messenger. Yes. Right on. Hit thumbs up, subscribe to if you haven't already, and share the stream, please. You're all great. Awesome, Missy. Dang it. You're so good. I feel like I should be paying you for this. And if I had some money to offer you, thanks for the promotion. I really appreciate that. I really, really do. Make Canada great again. Arrest Trudeau. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If the RCMP, think about it. If the RCMP were truly doing their job and defending or protecting Canadians from, criminals who want to impose their will or mandate their edicts onto huge swaths of the population, yeah, they would have already done so, right? Because, hey, what the hell? Taxation is theft, by the way. Or if you want to call it extortion. Either way, they're both illegal activities. But is Trudeau, any of these dipshits that constantly confiscate larger and larger portions of our income or wealth ever been arrested? Nope. Why? Because the enforcers are a direct recipient or recipients of that forced wealth and income redistribution or proceeds of theft, right? Right on, Missy. Does this stream every day, and what time does it start? Oh, sorry, no, not every day. I'm sorry. It seems like that though, doesn't it? I've been enjoying you folks so much in the chats, tell you the truth. And especially when I have conversations and I kind of miss out on engaging in the chat. So I do seem to be doing a lot more streams than normally, or definitely past. And a lot of it has to do with the COVID outbreak, but I'm going to try to maintain at least a somewhat decent level in terms of streams. I have actually, I'm just going to do a little teaser because I have to wait before everything's confirmed, but I have an hopefully even bigger announcement to make, but it's going to be a little while yet before I can make the announcement. Because like I say, I got to make sure 100% before I do that everything's working out and I can make the announcement and know that it's actually going to come to fruition. So, but there are things, like I say, that are still on the back burner as of yet that I'm trying to do and bring to light and implement in terms of going forward. I'm always constantly trying to retweak or reinvent myself in some small way to see what works best for the most amount of people, right? That's just like a business model. You got to figure out what works best, right? Find it by chance most of the time. Okay, well, if you weren't here, first and foremost, or Freedom Free for All, if you weren't here when I was mentioning, if you click on, like I say, if you go and click on my channels on my videos on my actual YouTube channel and watch a few of my videos, then eventually, if you want to get yourself back into having my channels or my notifications sent out to you, then you kind of got to show that there's a history of you actively pursuing my content. And then once you've done that, then you'll start to see it get slowly recommended in the recommended section. Once you get it recommended in the recommended section, then to keep it that way, rather than pass by it, you have to click on it. Like I say, even if you don't watch it right then and there, even if you just keep it in the background on pause or even let it play, whatever you want to do, as long as you don't skip past it, YouTube's algorithm will recognize that and they'll keep trying to put that into your feed going forward. But once again, it does require some responsibility on your behalf to be proactive and try to teach the algorithm. Think about it. It's like the algorithm is like a really, really small child that's not fully developed in their knowledge. So what it does, it goes by cues, right? And signals. You have to send a signal to this algorithm that suggests that you want to see Canadian libertarian content. Once you've done that and you've been proactive in that way, then you will start to see it showing up in your recommended feed. At that point, then, like I say, then you make sure you're clicking on them when they show up in the recommended section, so it'll continue to do so. And once you've clicked on them, it's your view time, your watch time that matters as much as well. Because then they'll see not only you want to see the videos, but you watch them, especially if you watch them in their entirety, they recognize, oh, that this person don't not only do they want to see the video, but they're very much engaged with it. And we need to prioritize it and reflect that in our algorithm. So anyways, just wanted to point that out to you as well. Freedom Free for All. And thanks for joining this chat, by the way. And thanks for mentioning that. And if you haven't already, hit the old thumbs up. And that will help a little bit as well. Oh, you have dial-up? Oh, no. Yeah, I hear you, Terry M. I'm a little bit better in dial-up. Not much. Like just barely better than dial-up. The provider that I use here, they've actually slowed us all down until, I guess, till COVID, or saying because of the limited bandwidth that they have as a provider. And so we're all like greatly reduced, which puts me at the speed they have me at right now is just barely, when I do a speed test, just barely a little bit better than dial-up. So yeah, I understand your frustration. Oh yeah, there we go. There it was. There we go. New Wizard Online. Thank you very much once again. Like I say, I clicked on it when it was up the top there, but I guess I can click on it again when it's down here a little further. But did it show up when I clicked on it up top? I would assume it did because it showed up on my end anyways, but it's hard to tell what's happening on the other. Welcome to the channel, The Wizard Online. Great to see you. Yes. Yes. Right on. Right on. Nice. Nice. Okay. I'm visiting Winnipeg today, so I hope to get it live. Where are we at here? 58 minutes. Okay. So like I say, folks, I only want to keep this stream going about an hour, because I want to definitely get the chats. Well, as long as the chats are coming in, I'll keep going for a little bit longer. But I know my freaking streams are so long, it probably wouldn't hurt to at least have one or two that's like maybe only an hour or so, maybe entice more people to watch them, right? I guess that's what I'm thinking, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people, although I don't understand, because you don't have to watch it all at once. See, what I do, especially for like channels that go in long form, like Joe Rogan or people like Stephen Molyneux and such, right? Is what I'll do is I'll just, because you got to remember, YouTube remembers where you watched last. So start watching it. And if you don't want to watch too much of it, pause it, put it in the background, or like I say, wait and watch the rest of it later. Or if somehow, even if you end up having to close it for some reason, well, you can go back later on and watch it and pick up exactly where you left off. So that helps as well. Anyways, let me get to Terry M. I'm visiting Winnipeg today, so I hope to get it live. Bennett, can you please ask your subscribers to say a prayer for me? For sure. Thank you. So we'll definitely be saying a prayer for Terry M today, because he's going to Winnipeg, which is apparently wherever he's going must be somewhere in the belly of the beast. Lots of status, I assume he's going to be surrounded with. But anyways, yeah, you're definitely going to be in our prayers there, Terry M. Stay safe. I'll be joining the 10. Oh, awesome. Really? Make sure. Oh, make sure. No, listen, I really appreciate all you folks who have offered to support me economically. I really do. But I only if you can genuinely afford it yourself. It would make me feel even more like it. I'd feel guilty if I found out that people were putting themselves in, even more precarious economic situations to help me out. Because that's one thing I never want to do is cause anyone. I trust me. I know how difficult things can be. But if you definitely can afford it and you're comfortable with doing that, then I definitely. It's not like I say. It's not like I don't need the help. It's not like I haven't already put out a tremendous amount of time, effort over many, many years freely. I'll add, like, I've only monetized the channel within the last couple of years or so. I did most of my stuff, a lot of the stuff for free. And even now, a lot of the stuff I'm barely getting paid. Like even these streams, even when I do get them monetized, even a couple hour stream only makes me like what, $3 or $4, right? So it's like not like I'm making it rich, and I'm not. But of course, what it is I think Missy and I think a lot of us, we all realize that of course, like people have to be rewarded and compensated for effort and work, right? That's the problem with all these new technologies in the digital sphere is it has made a lot of us complacent with not having to pay to play, right? And I get how beneficial that has been for a tremendous amount of people, even myself. Like I'll even admit I have benefited tremendously because I've had access to a tremendous amount of resources for free. But once again, at the end of the day, when I recognize that I'm receiving resources for free, what I do is even if I don't have any money at my disposal, which a lot of times I don't, but what I will do is share that stuff myself or put in some value added effort into it myself so that I'm contributing value in some way. Because that's the other thing. There's multiple ways that we can contribute value to each other's lives, right? And if you can't do it monetarily wise, like myself, if when you're not doing good economically, then you can do by liking, sharing, subscribing, and helping other people promote. There's a tremendous amount of ways that we can help each other out. But anyways, like I say, thank you very much, Missy, and just make sure that you're in a position that you can afford to do so. And if you are, once again, very much appreciative of that. And especially if you're going to go at that higher level, that because you'll be able to come and not only we'll be able to do the private chat and everything, and I'll give you the shout out, but I would love to bring you on to have a conversation, Missy. I think we would have a great conversation, to be honest with you. And like I say, you too could do that for up to 3 times in the run of a year. So thank you once again. Well, where did we go? Where did we go here? Where did we go? What are we at? An hour and 2 minutes. Okay, come on, Bennett. Hurry up, get through this stuff. Come on. Okay, there we go. It's the message, not the ego. That's why. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you recognize and realize that, Wizard Online, because that's the thing. I'm always trying to, like I say, I mean, you got to have a little bit of self-esteem, but you can't have too big of an outstretched ego to the point where you make it about yourself. Because really, at the end of the day, it is about the message. It is all about the idea, and all I really care at the end of the day is if I have a platform and a means to spread that idea around, and which means that I definitely require your help and other people to help me do that as well. But yeah, it's definitely not about the ego. But one thing I will say though is I don't like to overemphasize people that have an ego or say anything detrimental or negative about that too, because I also recognize there's that fine line. It's that yin and yang, right? It's that middle area. It's that middle ground. So it's like you don't want to be so humble or so conformist that you have no ego and you just bow to the whims of basically anyone, right? Nor do you want to be so egotistical that it's my way or the highway and nobody knows anything. I know everything, right? But there should be somewhere. You got to find somewhere closely in that middle area where you have at least enough of an ego, or should I say ego, maybe not the proper word, self-esteem, although they kind of correlate, right? Not even loosely, kind of closely correlate, to be honest with you, but you have to have some kind of a self-esteem or at least an ego of sorts so that people, don't use your own internal conflicts or your inferiority complex as a means to control you. Because that's the other thing I've definitely recognized, that people that like to play politics or use terms like legalese, like use, political language or legalese, they love for you to feel that you are so incapable or incompetent in comparison to them that you have to yield or conform to whatever they say because you just realize that, I'm just so inferior to them. I'm not an expert. that is just as dangerous as it would be, although I don't know if it's exactly just as dangerous, but it's definitely dangerous and can be probably or possibly as dangerous as having an outstripped ego, right? Because if you have the outstripped ego, then you're still not thinking critically about issues as well, because you think you know it all. And one thing I will admit with 100% certainty is over the 10 years that I've learned about things, if there's one thing, and I forget that exact quote, and I'll be paraphrasing here, but that old adage as well that resonates and stick with me is, yeah, the more you know, the more you realize that you don't know. I forget, I totally butchered that, but you know what it is. I have filled my head with a tremendous amount of information over the last decade. And the more information I learn, I'm definitely learning a tremendous amount of information, but I'm also learning there's all these other areas of mine where I still need a whole lot of information to fill in those gaps as well. So it's what it is. I'm trying to be more well-rounded, and it's like a jigsaw puzzle. I'm trying to put all the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle together in terms of knowledge. So eventually I can look at it from the macro perspective and have an actual vivid picture of what it actually entails, right? I'm not there yet. I'm trying my best. I've definitely garnered and earned a tremendous amount of knowledge over, like I say, the last 10 years that have definitely put me in a place that I understand things better than most people that haven't put that kind of time and effort into it. But I'm also realizing that there's still a tremendous amount of things that I've yet to learn, which is why I'm excited to continue on this journey and learn more things. That's what I think. When people tell me things that I haven't heard of before, and it resonates, and when I run it through the old thought processes, is it honest? Is it concise? Is it contradictory? Like, does it make sense? Is it logical, right? Is it reasoned? Is it science-based? Is it objective? All those things, like I say, now that I understand things, I can run those things through the cranium and realize, okay, this is information that I need to adopt. Now, if someone else comes later or subsequent to that and gives me information that counters that, I'm still gonna think critically about it. And like I say, run it through the same kind of hypothesis or test, right? And that to me is the proper way to adopt knowledge, is learning how to think. Not what to think. That's easy, to be told what to think, right? Everybody can be told what to think, but it's learning how to think. And that how to think, like I say, does require a little bit more of the thought processes, and it does allow, or does kind of entice you to be a little bit more humble, because you have to be willing to be told you're wrong. Which, let me tell you, at first, like, it's hard, especially very early on in my journey, my intellectual journey, is like, man, it was tough. The cognitive dissonance, it was rough. And I would retaliate. I'd give backlash to these people that were trying to properly inform me. But then, like I say, after the fact, it's like, oh, because I went through that. I went through that process. It's like, oh man. And I did actually a substantial portion of them. Anyways, I would go back and say, yeah, sorry, you were correct. And I'm sorry if I disagreed with you at the time. And the ones that I didn't, if you're watching the stream and I have since changed my mind or my position or my stance on something that you remember in the past, well, thank you for helping me to get that point. And actually, that's the thing. That's the thing. Even using the term humility, it's not even about humility, because to tell you the truth, it's not even about you require humility to learn, although that I do think you do require that to a degree, but it's also if you want to learn, like, because I genuinely want to learn. I don't want to just have the pretense of learning. I genuinely want to learn. That means I have to, like, it's not a matter of even questioning it. It's like, I have to be willing to accept and adopt new information when it's based on fact, logic, and consistent reason when it is presented to me, because that's the only thing that works. That's the only methodology that actually works to teach me to think critically about these issues. That's the only way. Rhetoric doesn't work. Propaganda doesn't work, right? Political opinions, right? None of that stuff. No, it's learning to genuinely think critical and being willing to adopt new information when it's presented to you. That is very, very important. Sorry, I know I went on a bit of a rant there. I tend to do that from time to time, but it's like I say, it's important stuff, folks. Important stuff. Don Knighthood, Bennett, why do you despise the PPC? I don't despise them. I don't think I've ever heard you really explain it, or what is the main issue you have with them. No, I don't despise. It's just that, like I say, to me, it was the way that libertarians like myself were treated by a lot of the people that were insiders of the PPC. And, well, that's the thing. I guess they were a lot of them, shouldn't say all, I guess a lot of them were playing politics, because, like I say, if you go back and watch through my YouTube channel, and you can do that right now, right? Just go through my YouTube channel, look when the PPC was run, you'll see all the PPC related videos that I uploaded, and you'll see thousands of views. Not on all of them, but a substantial portion of my videos relating to PPC, thousands of views, which meant that we were all coming together. And it seemed to me that the PPC and the people that were, and even Maxime, they were trying to respect and adopt some libertarian values and principles. And we were trying to come together to be a show of force against the establishment. But then it seemed once I can say there's multiple other things, but then once the election was over, Maxime lost his seat, and the PPC showed to have no success whatsoever. And like I say, I put in a tremendous, not only was I a founding member and contributed to the PPC, but I interviewed a tremendous amount of their candidates and members and helped spread the ideas of the PPC. And for what? To basically be put on the back burner, shoved to the back of the bus, never given any ability to actually like Maxime or no one in there ever reached out to me to have any kind of cooperative endeavor. So to me, it was the way it come across to me is the only reason why they wanted to allow people like myself, libertarians, to interview these people is first and foremost, it had a two-pronged effect, right? So one, by a libertarian interviewing PPC candidates, and like at the time, I was the most popular, even right now, I might be the most popular libertarian YouTube channel in Canada, as far as I know, libertarian, mind you, right? But it had someone with a substantial audience where they could appeal to or look like they're appealing to libertarians. So I could get their candidates to have access to my audience who may in turn vote for them, right? Which some of them probably did, or most of them did, not all, mind you, but some of them definitely did. But on the flip side of that, they could also, build up their credibility that, look, we respect libertarians. Libertarians are welcome into our tent, right? But the rhetoric didn't turn out, like I say, the reality didn't turn out to match the rhetoric. So it seemed like they were willing to bring libertarians into the fold. But I think what it was at the end of the day was a political tactic to get the votes and to get the as an advertising platform for the PPC, because subsequent to that, after the election, is like everyone in the PPC basically just forgot who the hell I was and have ignored me. And not just the insiders, but a lot of the followers of the PPC too. If you look at the PPC channel, their YouTube channel, if you went back and actually saw it when I first started promoting them, and I was one of the first people that started even promoting Maxime's own YouTube channel and the PPC, People's Party of Canada YouTube channel, I was promoting these. And now that they've even garnered, or Maxime has garnered even a much larger, I think Maxime only had like, 1,000 or so. Now he's even got a larger audience than me, but yet, like, no thanks, no appreciation whatsoever. It's like, gee, thanks, man. You at least helped out not only in promoting all of my candidates and supporting and becoming a founding member and interviewing a lot of our candidates. Like I did it, like I say, a tremendous amount of work. Nobody from inside the PPC has ever, other than like some of the guys, like on the ground guys, like the grassroots guys. I got respect for some of the grassroots guys, people such as Michael Foley, the ADA president, and EDA president for, was it? Anyways, whatever his writing is in Nova Scotia, King Hance, I believe it is, and Matthew Southall, which was the candidate, and I interviewed him, I think, is once or twice too. Those are two great gentlemen from the PPC, but they're kind of low on the lower end or the lower scale of things. They're not the insiders of the PPC or part of the headquarters. Those people and a tremendous amount of people that follow them, like that cohort, that group, like I say, they basically, as far as I'm concerned, they said, oh, well, we got whatever we wanted out of you, so we don't care for you now. And I mean, people that treat me like that after I put in that much work and effort, sorry if I don't have a lot of respect for them, right? So a bit of a long story there, Don, but it's not against everybody, obviously. But yeah, Maxime and the PPC, not only did they fail in the political venture, but they failed to even to show and reach out and have any respect for the people that helped to put them where they are in the first place. Well, maybe Maxime blames us for, I don't know, maybe Maxime blames, we should have never brought the libertarians in because, look, they're the reason why we didn't get any votes. I don't know, because I can only speculate. Why do I have to speculate? Because nobody's ever reached out to actually have a conversation with me. That's why. And I sure shit ain't going to beg them. I think I've done enough. Anyway, so that's just to let you know. Just to let you know, Don, the liberals have indoctrinated our children in schools now, brainwashed their minds. Yeah, well, they've been doing that for decades, right? Okay, I'm just going to go down a little bit quicker, folks, if you don't mind here. My brain has been on information over. Yeah, I hear you, Missy. Oh, I know. Trust me. But I think what you'll notice will happen, well, for me anyways, you might have a bigger memory bank than I do. I don't know. But for me, what I've noticed is a lot of the stuff that was useless information. My wife used to say to me so many years ago, like that I do carry around a lot of useless information. And I'm one of those people that like could answer even stupid like trivia questions, like just stuff's like, why would you or how would you know that? Well, what I have noticed over the last decade is a lot of that useless information is gone by the wayside. I no longer possess or retain that useless information, but in a way, it's kind of good because I've replaced it with more pertinent information in regards to the philosophy of liberty and all the principles that's entailed in all the great historical knowledge, literature, and books and documentaries and all the things. I've filled up, my head with a lot more prudent and beneficial information. So I don't know. To me, I don't know. It might just be the limitations for me, but it seems like there's definitely a limitation in the old memory bank and how much a person can store, which is why I'm constantly trying to feed myself and educate myself so that I can keep that knowledgeable in the forefront of my mind, right? It's hard, Missy. It's hard. There's a tremendous amount of stuff out there to learn. It is very difficult. Okay, let's see where are we at here. Your social media right up. Yes, I am, Mr. G Rich. Yes, I am. And actually, there's probably a couple more that I just don't even use. So and I had ones before. I was on VidMe till they closed down. Like I say, I try to have redundant. Like I say, and it's hard because I try to keep. If you go to those pages and platforms, you'll see that I keep a lot of information up to date. Those as well. Like you don't understand like how many hours in a day, just in the run of a day, just making sure that I'm keeping all the information that I upload or that I share. Just doing that alone on my social media platforms requires hours every single day. So, but yeah, I know what you're saying. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy being cheesy. I think I know the truck driver. I don't, damn it. I'm missing out on this inside joke here. Oh, no, she's not. No, but Missy's awesome. No, Missy just awesome. She's from New Brunswick too, right? But no, I just met her through social media, as far as I know, right? Missy can answer for yourself. Because we don't know each other personally. Yeah, no, we don't. So we just happened chance that we come across each other, probably because we're both NBers and maybe shared a post or something. I forget exactly, tell you the truth, how we met. Maybe Missy remembers. I'm sorry, Missy. I just, like I say, and it's not that that's useless information by any stretch of the imagination. But I just, there's so many people that I deal with on the run of a day. It is really, really difficult to keep all these things in check. But yeah, no, she's not my wife, but whoever does have her as a wife, I'd say is a lucky, lucky man, because she seems like a great lady as far as I'm concerned. That's what we can do, Bennett. Make New Brunswick flagship and turn into Zeppelin. Yeah. Hey, New Brunswick. Listen, actually, New Brunswick is a great place because we do have, some of those geographical areas that would be more conducive with, definitely minarchism, right? Like very limited small government. Why? Because there's no resources in this country to have, or in this province to have that big a government, right? But yeah, that would definitely be something going forward, especially as some of the older status, as long as the older cohorts of status, die off, which represents a lot of these places on the East Coast, in New Brunswick in particular. Yeah, we could change things up by quite a substantial degree. So there's always positive things to look forward to, and New Brunswick is one of those places. It could very well be one of those places where liberty might take hold and maybe start to flourish and spread throughout the rest of Canada. Who knows? You can always hope, right? Always keep those hopes up. Anyways, thanks for mentioning that. Just felt right on. Just felt like an ain't trying to get in her message out there. Right on, Mitzi. Yep. Plant those seeds, baby. Plant those seeds. And a little fresh water, it will grow. It sure will. It sure will. Rush. Big rush to the donut. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah, that's a shame. That's rough. That's rough. Hell no. Need to pay. Oh, no. Okay. No need to pay me. Still silly bug. I am passionate about getting the truth that I know in future generation. No, well, I really, like I say, I really appreciate it, Missy. I really, really do. And I just so you know, at the very least, that I definitely place value on every bit of time and effort that you do and helping me in any way. Just know that with 100% certainty, 100% certainty, and not just you, but everyone else out there in the chat or that has ever watched, liked, or shared my stuff. I definitely appreciate everything, every little thing that you folks do. I have a tremendous amount of appreciation for, which is why I continue to do the same thing, which is why I help support, promote, and share a lot of. I don't just share, as you realize, if you look at my social media pages, I don't just share my own material. I share material and resources from a tremendous amount of people, and I always give credit when I share other people's resources, and I always accredit them for the information that they provided. So that too is a good way to do, and that's a practice that I definitely have adopted. Great video to watch about the world's pedo problems and how far it has gotten. Try watching Sean Atwood's Out of the Shadows. Oh, those I might give that one a watch, G Rich, but man, when it comes to people messing with kids, I got to tell you, oh, those kind of shows kind of get under my skin and put me in a bad place in my mind. And usually when I'm getting away from the social media platform and unwinding, I want to put my mindset in a positive place. I might still check it out anyways, but yeah, I don't like watching things, especially when it has to do with causing harm to kids. As a father of two, that stuff just grinds my gears, and I just sit there, watch it with my teeth clenched the whole time. But I might find a way to see to sit through it there if you think it might be worth the while, but no promises. Oh, like I say, even thinking about what people would do to children like that is just, like I say, because it's bad enough adults and how we can treat each other. It can be pretty bad. And like I say, even myself, I'm not perfect that way. I've done some bad things in my life. I've been in fights myself and stuff, and I've caused harm to other adults myself. But when you're talking about kids, yeah, that's a bridge too far for me. Like when you're talking about people that are 3 or 4 or 5 times the size of their opponent, like that's bullying to the nth degree, right? And it's evil. It's vile. Yeah, actually, that's true. Yeah, favorite and videos probably helps as well. Good point, Terry. Of course, Canada doesn't get top priority in the video, Terry, but what does it mention? A lot of fuel for thought. Yeah. Hey, right on. I finally made it down there, Leo. How's it going? Leo's like, I'm already gone, Bennett. What is it? 4:30? When did he send this? 4:06. So yeah, about 25 minutes ago. Sorry about that, Leo, buddy. But yeah, check out. Anyways, folks, I'll give that to. Let me just check here real quick on stuff, and then I'll mention my my announcement one more time, and then I stream up there, folks. Yep, I have up the serb to concentrate on my channel. I have up the serb to concentrate on my channel. It has to be done. I have up the serb. I'm not quite sure what that means. You mean you're taking the serb? What? Oh, you gave up the serb. Wait. Oh, you were getting the serb. Oh, I assume you must mean, yeah, because G and H is right side by side. So I get it. So you gave up the serb to concentrate on my channel. Yeah, well, I never got it, never tried to get it. Even my wife, she makes less than it. She might have been able to ask to get the top up. Because remember how they were saying that you can get a top up, and she's a frontline worker in the grocery industry. Neither of us, as bad as it sounds, and trust me, it wasn't an easy decision for either of us to make, because we're not doing so great economically. And don't kid yourself. I could have really used the money. I could have really used the money. My principals and the fact that my wife and I both agreed that, like, no, we'll just figure out a way to get through this. Because like I say, right now, a lot of the economic burden is being placed on my wife's shoulders right now, obviously, because of the fact that she's the one that's working. I still bring some money into the household. Unfortunately, we don't have a tremendous amount of bills, so it's not too bad. But obviously, her opinion played a big role in what I was willing to do, or like I would have even, like I say, if she said, listen, we just can't handle this and I need the help. And there's, obviously if you don't have the opportunity to go to work right now, which I don't, then we got to do something. Like if she had to put that pressure on me, I probably would have had to yield because I would have felt bad not to, because like I say, I already feel bad as it is that my wife is having to pick up the slack that I used to have to be. I used to, that was my thing. Right. And anyways, but because she completely agrees with me and she doesn't want to, we've shown for many years now that we can both stand on our own 2 feet, no matter what life throws at us. And we're sticking to that, right? And like I say, we both recognize that it's kind of like we're shooting ourselves in our own proverbial foot, right, by not taking this, but we're sticking to our principles. We're going to have a healthier psychology of this after this. And depending on, how this plays out, maybe some of these people that are getting the CERB, it's probably going to cost them a whole lot more than they benefited. So at the end of the day, or at least that's what I'm telling myself, right, as a reason to not take advantage of having this kind of money thrust or not thrust upon me, but offered to me freely, right? And it's hard, folks. Like I said, I didn't know how I was going to react to this, to be honest with you, but I have managed to refrain from even attempting to get the CERB, or from my wife from even reaching out to get it for herself. So we'll see how it pans out. But at the end of the day, hey, we've got each other. We're getting by okay, right? We still got our health and all that stuff. So things could definitely be worse. So anyways, just me pointing that out. But glad you made that choice yourself there. What was it? Was it they won't give you, is if you have a YouTube channel that's monetized, they won't give you? Is that what they said? Because it's not, I wouldn't think you'd be making that much money off of the old YouTube. You should still be able to get topped up, I would imagine, on the old YouTube. Because, I know for me, like I say, my payout's less than $100 a month. I usually have to wait for the second month to get my payout. So right, I can't imagine them using that against you. But anyways, that's your own personal stuff there. Okay, she won't be coming home as much. She's living in a care home for the rest of her life. Never saw this coming. Not happy at nurses and doctors. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sorry about that, Terry M. Please share this channel, friends. Your challenge for today, chatter, is share with at least one friend and ask them to do the same. Sharing is caring. Yep. Thank you very much, Missy. And like I say, I'm going to try to scroll down here quicker and do the announcement one more time. Oh, sorry, Tommy Gunn. Have a nice long weekend, you too, as well. Oh, by the way, everyone else. Yeah, that's right, too. Yes, this is a long weekend. So, yeah, definitely everyone have yourself a great long weekend. It is, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so just claim homeless and CERB will be delivered quickly. That would be a fun conversation with you, Bennett. I talk a lot, so beware. Hey, so do I, Missy. Like I say, if you ever want, just let me know. We'll have a conversation about anything. I would gladly bring you on, and you can rant and rage all you want. Have at it, Missy. Give you a free range. Do whatever you please. Go right to it. Okay, range is open on Monday. Awesome. Ego never to be in the driver's seat, but to criticize and provide balance to the self. Right on. Yep. Okay, that's how far I'm behind. Wow. The more I learn, the more I realize how little I really know. Socrates. Oh, Socrates, I think. Yeah, it might have been Socrates. It could very well have been. Either way, but yeah, that's a good quote. Thanks for bringing that up. I can't believe I'm that far because they fear discomfort. Unfortunately, true again. True again. Anyways, like I say, folks, I'm going to try to scroll down here a little bit quicker. Bottom line, when people wake up more and more, it will be a choice to know the real truth of humanity, good versus evil, one or the other. Yeah, exactly. You would expect most people would want to pick the side of the good, right? So it's just a matter of getting them to understand who represents the good. Edging God out, right on. Okay. The older you get, the faster you rot. Yeah, right on, Ken Rose. John Keynes. Yeah, that's the beaver. Right on. Cool. In terms of electoral reform, would the Electoral College and more mainstream libertarian parties be the solution? CBC just isn't cutting it. Well, I mean, for me, in terms of the politics, is I think libertarians. I mean, for a libertarian, ideally, if you want to support a politician or a political party, obviously, at the very least, I recognize this myself, is to support the Libertarian Party. And in Canada, we are very, very fortunate. In as much as I'm not a fan of politics, we're very fortunate in Canada to have an amazing, not just like a wise, astute, and observant philosophical libertarian like Tim Mullen, but he's also, a father, a husband, a paramedic, and an EMT as well. So this is a man that has lots of attributes, positive attributes that he brings to the table. And the fact that he's a philosophical libertarian is just icing on the cake for me. So you'll have someone that's willing to say the right things, the bold things, not to backtrack, not to mince words, not to, play the politically correct game, but I mean to say with the kind of fortitude and the kind of resolve that I do, you can get that exact same kind of thing, or at least close to that, from the leader of the Libertarian Party of Canada. So that's a tremendous benefit for all of us who want to, at any point in time, if you do want to use the political process to try to help usher in more liberty-oriented policies and positions in terms of government, in terms of heading towards minarchism, right? And it wouldn't be that difficult to field all 338 candidates if we all put our minds together to do such. Right now, as far as I'm concerned, the PPC, it was more or less like a milquetoast kind of a thing for libertarians. It's like, and I don't like watering down my message to the point where I'm not being completely honest with people. I don't feel good about it, folks, and that's not what I'm going to do going forward. So for me to be clear and concise and consistent in my messaging, it has to be with the Libertarian Party of Canada. Was a found member and worked hard to get our platform out there. Yeah, I know a lot of us, we put a lot of work in it, and I feel really let down as a consequence of that. But I don't like, I'm not going to use that as a means to think about what happened in the past. I'm just going to, like I say, reflect on it, change things up, and do better in the future, right? The problem with trying to use your vote to change the system is the candidates you're choosing are chosen by the parties, and there hasn't been a candidate in nearly 50 years that hasn't been corrupt to the core. Exactly. Yeah, politics is downstream of culture. What we have to do as individuals, as us, as a loose group of people that care about these important aspects and fundamental principles of liberty, is we got to change the culture. And that has to happen, grassroots, doing all the little things, like get together, do groups, have little group meetups, maybe talk to your local pastors about these things, or your priests, like I said, set up little community groups, have meetings, have pub night where you talk and discuss these things, create entertainment venues that are liberty oriented, where people get together, where they can actually entertain and engage with other people, but at the same time, talk and discuss liberty-oriented topics or subjects. Like I say, there's a tremendous amount of things that we can do to get this country, or at least certain areas or jurisdictions of this country, more well adopted and adapted to voting for an actual principled politician, someone such as Tim Mullen, or the candidates who would represent the Libertarian Party of Canada. But we got to put in the grasswork. We got to put in the grassroots efforts before that'll ever come to fruition. Because just like we've seen with the PBC, if you haven't put in the effort to get the culture adopted to the ideas of liberty, well, just going out and espouse it, or offering a one-time situation where you can check a box, that's just not going to work, right? So we've still got a lot of work to do, but we've got some of the best people in Canada all coming together these days, which tells you that we, at least, like I say, we have the right ideas. We have the platforms now. It's just a matter of expanding and spreading that out to more and more of our fellow Canadians. You have to pick and choose what rabbit holes you go down, because all the info out there. Ask yourself, does this info resonate in my soul and my mind? Yes, definitely don't go too far. It is a gradual learning curve, and that's the same with me. Like I say, it took me 10 years of having to kind of go through, because, just when I thought I was learning so much about this, well, I had to go and kind of beat back all the stupid stuff that I thought originally in terms of that concept. Is like, okay, now I have to refresh my mind in this. So it is a definite gradual learning curve. And of course, depending on people's IQs and their competence levels, well, some people can learn much quicker than others. To me, like I say, it was definitely a gradual thing, because I spent most of my life, I was never been in academia, right? I was never considered an intellectual. I was quite smart as a kid, but because I was quite rebellious as a kid too, I didn't fit well in school. I had a lot of school teachers said, "Oh, you have a lot of promise. You're a real smart guy." I was even like top kid in my class there for a few years in my younger years, but because I didn't conform to the classroom type setting, I didn't get any real formal education. But maybe that is a benefit, right? Maybe that's a genuine benefit. Maybe that's why I do or did adopt the ability to think more critically about these issues. I don't know. But like I say, I definitely started from a point much further behind than a lot of people in terms of their intellectual development. I've had to do a lot of catching up over the last 10 years, but I've been busy at work, as you know. Hey, what's going on, Mitchell? Showing up late, was watching a webinar hosted by, oh, sweet, the Mises Institute. Awesome. Yeah, the Mises Institute has some great stuff they put out there. The Mises Wire, and now they're actually putting out a lot more material even on their YouTube channel, which is great. I'm glad to see that stuff. So glad to hear that, Mitchell, and thanks for joining the stream there, buddy. Yeah, Mitchell's one of those guys, like I say, the PBC guys that I definitely have a tremendous amount of respect for. So as much as I, have some grievances with the leadership of the PBC, doesn't mean that I have a hate on or have disdain for all people who do represent the PBC. Like I say, Mitchell is a great guy, and I definitely have some respect for Mitchell and all that he does. So thanks, Mitchell. Okay, still here. Still here, right on. Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, where are we at here? Oh, been laid off since March. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, gotcha. But what'd they tell you? That you can't? Oh, I definitely will, Missy. Yes. She is, well, that's what I mean. Well, she recognized that we're both contributing to the, I can do this because of her, right? So she recognized that even though she's not the one that's using her voice or putting her face out there, she's definitely contributed to this. Like without her, I wouldn't even be able to do this. Well, of course, I have some help and some financial support now from you folks, and I really appreciate that too. But yes, she's definitely playing a very key and pivotal role in me being able to do what I do. So yes, I'll definitely thank her for you and on behalf of you and anyone else out there who's willing to do the same. Thanks. The government takes from other guys to give you, they produce. Not exactly. That's all it is. If you make $10, you don't qualify? Really? Are you serious? I wasn't aware of that because, like I said, I never get into the nitty gritty or the details of that. But if that's the case, that's pathetic. That's pathetic, right? What the hell? So you literally have to be like not making one dime to get it? So basically, they're incentivizing people to quit work entirely and not do one fucking thing, right? Same like welfare, right? Penalize or punish you if you ever try to make a buck or two or something. Like it's like the way they incentivize these stupid government programs. It is literally they're definitely advocates of socialism because everything they do is all about bringing about socialism and a bunch of parasites or the inept, right? Or propping up the inept. That's a shame. That is an absolute shame. And sorry to hear about that, Critical, because that's not cool. Because I'm like I say, I'm sure even for yourself, it's going to have to make up the difference there somehow, especially if you're laid off. Although when you're laid off, though, hold on. Shouldn't you at least be able to get your unemployment benefits? I'm pretty sure if you get employment, because I know for me, when I was doing the construction thing for not last year and the beginning of this year, but all those 6 years prior to that, when I had to go up to Ontario and work in construction and new home and all that, is when I got laid off in the winter, you are eligible for employment insurance because you're laid off, right? So I don't know. You should be able to, as far as I'm concerned, you should be able to at least get your employment insurance covered. And not necessarily the CERB, but like I say, I haven't been paying attention to that stuff because it's been a while since I've had any dealings with the government in terms of money. So I don't know. You're definitely more knowledgeable on that stuff than I am. Dang. I went 139. Here I said I wasn't going to go 2 hours with the stream. Yeah, right, Bennett. Yeah, right, Bennett. Oh, sorry. You can accomplish a lot as long as you have your health. When your health goes, that's when life starts to really. That's so true. And I'm trying to keep my health up. Serve is just a test for UBI. But yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a dry run to see how many people are willing to adopt a universal basic income. And as we see, there's quite a few of them out there are more than willing to do so, right? Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, some of the videos, well, that's the thing. It's been a while because the streams go longer and stuff. But yeah, I hear you. Yeah, some of them don't make squat, right? You go to all that trouble to get like $1 or $2 or $3 or as you're saying, like even like 60 cents or something. Like, I mean, come on. That's what I mean. Like, can we at least be, especially if you're going to be monetized, you should be at least somewhat properly compensated. It seems very, very low in terms of the compensation, right? Well, I mean, the very fact too that YouTube now, whether it's the super chats or stickers or all that stuff, I mean, they take 30%. I mean, come on, 30%. Like, holy crap. Like, yeah, YouTube, some of them are in there now. Some of the things they do is they're getting even worse than government in some aspect, right? Like, dang. That's a shame. Have a great weekend, friends. Stay safe. We love you all out there. Thank you for being here with us, Bennett. Appreciate Bennett appreciates each of you. Yes. Oh, yes. 100%. I do, Missy, and thank you very much. Captain Plaintiff, no vaccines. Hey, they can come up with a vaccine, but I'm just saying, like, none for me, please. You go right ahead. Like, whoever else out there, you do your thing. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm not going to be taking one. That's for damn sure. Not going to happen. The smartphone has been a huge tool for the government, yeah, to implement their destruction of liberties and freedom. That is true. I like that meme I shared years ago. I think it's still around. Where, yeah, you don't have to, the government doesn't have to figure out a way to implant you with a chip to spy on everything you do, right? No, you carry around your own spy device yourself voluntarily, right? And it's so true. And it's so true. Anyways, let me see here. Okay, what's this? Betrayed? No Nazi needles for me. yeah, no Nazi needles. Right on. Okay, you were let down by the media. Cheers, Bennett. Just stopping by to say hi. Oh, thank you very much, Troopy82. Appreciate that for stopping by. Really do. Okay. Being free isn't free. Many great people pay the price for us, past, present, and future. Get involved with like-minded people in your community. Starts at home. That can grow, then can grow. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what it is. We're leaders of liberty, right? That's what we're doing today. People in the future will talk about the things that we've done, and which is why I feel very proud to be doing what I'm doing, because even though right now, it's just substantial portion of my fellow Canadian population here don't seem to respect me for what I'm doing, but maybe someday they will. So I'm just putting in the work and effort now, and hopefully the dividends will pay off long into the future. And it'll be the dividends that my kids and your kids and Missy's kids, if she has kids, or anyone else's kids or grandkids or future successive generations, hopefully they'll be able to look back and say, thanks to Missy, thanks to Bennett, thanks to Captain Plaintiff, Droopy, thanks to Mr. G. Rich, thanks to all these people who stood up and defended our liberties, because without them, things could have went really bad really quick, right? So yeah, we're putting in the work, we're putting in the effort now, and I'm really appreciative to have all you folks here along the ride or for the journey. Hey, what's going on, Blue Apple? Nice to see you in the chat. I know we kind of had a little thing there back in the day, but as far as I'm concerned, it's all bridge under the water, all wandered under the bridge there, Blue Apple. And hopefully you'll start to come back around and watching the videos again, once again. And like I say, we usually got along pretty great there for quite a long time until we had a small minor fallout. But like I say, I'm willing to forgive and forget if you are. So hopefully, like I say, hopefully I'll see you in the chat and the stream more often. There you are. I see you up there. Hello, Blue Apple. A minarchist republic would be a good but big change. It would. Like I say, at this point in time, though, like I say, we got to put in the effort to affect the culture of this country first. The the politics, like discussing politics or the constitutional convention or rewriting the Bill of the Rights or all those things, they're all great ideas. And I'm not like I'm saying that they're bad ideas entirely. There's nothing wrong with a lot of the ideas I hear espoused. But like I say, for any of that to even take place, we have to get the culture of this country at least somewhat adoptive of even wanting to be free. Most of the fellow citizens out there in Canada, they don't even understand what freedom or liberty entails. And a lot of them are basically clamoring and begging for big government to take care of them from cradle to grave. So we got to change that psychology. We got to change that mentality. We got to change that culture first and foremost. I will for sure, Missy. I will 100% for sure. If you make even $1, you can't apply for CERB. So I said, screw it. I'll do this on my own. Good for you, Leo. Good for you, man. Like I say, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. But, you know, if you get through the difficult times, that's the one thing about me. Have to go through a lot of difficult times. It was rough, but you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? And it's definitely built up my strength and my resolve over the years. So there's always something to try to find the positive in it, right, Leo? Leo is a contractor, right on. I saw an article. Okay, I am going to tie it up here before the 2-hour mark, though, folks. So just to let you know, I saw an article, but only briefly, about their thinking about bringing a UBI into BC. Absolute BS. Yeah, and that universal basic income, that will definitely be the final nail in the coffin for you know, an active, healthy workforce in this country. Because I mean, think about what kind of incentive structure that would do to a substantial portion of the population, especially the population as it is today, right? Not good at all. Not good at all. I think you need to make 5,000. Oh, that I think, yeah, there's something about the $5,000 mark. Yeah, I remember that too, Blue Apple. I'm not sure what that was though. Is in 5,000 a year or something, right? Something like that. Like I said, I haven't really looked into it too much myself because I mean, I've just basically put it on my mind and I'm just pretending that it doesn't exist, and I'm just going to go through life as if it didn't. And like I say, it's the only way to do it, because it does kind of kill me. Even the wife, like the fact that she's making less right now while she's out there working, like every day, putting herself out there. And I mean, some of the customers can be ridiculous, although she said they are starting to lighten up and get better now. But I mean, putting up with a lot of crap while getting paid less than the people that are sitting at home, right? It's anyways. Yeah, you have to have enough hours. Right. But yeah, maybe Leo only got back to work for a shorter period of time before he got laid. Yeah, that could be it too. Like I say, I'm not sure. I'm just thinking out loud there anyways, folks. Like I say, I don't know what exactly happened in everyone's situation. Okay. I'm almost down here, folks. Just one sec. Nothing is ever free. I assume you better believe it would have a high cost. Basically, and the high cost, not just in terms of dollars and cents, but the destruction it would have on the very fabric of what it is to have an actual market, even a remotely closely resembling market-driven economy. Like that's the underlining pinning that builds the wealth in this country. There's a lot of socialism on top of that, but there's still the underpinnings of capitalism. But I think that would go by the wayside and be destroyed in short order if a UBI is fully introduced. The currency is not in the money on YouTube. Yeah, the currency is not in the money on YouTube. And the money on YouTube. The currency is not the money. I'm not quite sure what you mean that, although the currency is not in the money. So you mean the sharing of the information is the currency, right? I think I kind of get where you're going with their Blue Apple. Those who are willing to accept UBI don't realize that they will have to accept government dictates to be cut off. Well, that's the thing. Yeah. Once you become beholden and relying on big government for your income, well, you just got to know that comes with strings attached. I mean, come on, right? You just have to know that. Oh, yeah. Sorry. You already read that. Question to all that support the Canadian Libertarian. Will we let liberty die? Yeah, I won't. And hopefully no one else in here either. And matter of fact, I think we need to step up our efforts actually, and get more and more people to adopting this mindset as well. So yeah, good point there, Wizard Online. Or a good question, I should say. Please watch this movie clip, volume up, and take a few seconds to reflect on the question, and then watch. What's the message? Please watch this movie clip, volume up, and take a few seconds to reflect. I'm not sure what movie clip you're talking about there. You had to make $5,000 before you lost your income, then have no income during the period you're claiming the benefit. They will tax it as income next year. Anyways, like I say, I'm trying to get down to the bottom of the messages here, folks, because I do got to tie this one up. I will say this, actually. Betrayed 1940. You can live off potatoes. My yard is full of them. Ukraine, Irish lived on them. I was just going to say, it's second world. As an Irishman myself, well, past of one side of my family is Irish, one side Scottish, but yeah, I definitely, potatoes, it's a staple in my diet. It is for sure. And it's one of those vegetables that's not only a staple in my diet, but there's a gazillion things that you can do with potatoes. And yeah, if there was only one vegetable left on the planet, if I had to pick one vegetable, it would definitely be the potato. 100%. 100%. What's going on? Good times? Good times is having good times. Broken politics. Right on. Interesting note for us old stock Canadians. Under the Citizenship Act, a person is deemed to be born in Canada if the person is born on a Canadian vessel. Interesting. Interesting. Thanks for the info. Okay, it looks like I pretty much covered. I've covered most of the comments. So, anyways, folks, it's definitely going to be a 2-hour stream. Sorry about that once again. Well, if you enjoyed it, not sorry. If you've already had your fill with me, then I do apologize. But anyways, thanks for everyone for showing up to the stream. I'm just going to mention one more time, as you can see. So let me just let this finish scrolling across the bottom. So me and David, the co-host with Tim Owen on their channel, as I say, we're going to be having a conversation regarding, and as the heading, the topic is going to be statism. Millennials find new faith in an old idea. So, as I say, join David and I for a thought-provoking discussion this Sunday, May 17th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Like I say, we're going to have a great discussion, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be thought-provoking. And David's got some definite intellect he's going to bring to the table, and with his objectivist philosophy that he has a tremendous amount of knowledge on. I got a pretty good grasp of knowledge on objectivism myself. And of course, I bring the libertarian side of things to the table as well. And like I say, this should be a great conversation to talk about what it is for the millennials, the successive generations under Gen X, millennials, and like I say, those Gen Zers that are coming up, and what effect the reverence for the state, that it does represent a substantial portion of the younger people these days, and what kind of effect that's going to have, not just on us, but them and their futures going forward. So like I say, I'm going to be really interested to hear what David's got to say, and I imagine it's going to be a very engaging conversation. So I definitely invite you to check that out with me. Like I say, that'll be this Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Just watch for the notification on my channel, or if you don't get the notification, now at the very least with this one, you know the exact time to show up and join us on the stream. And like I say, if we get enough time, hopefully I'll be able to take some questions from you folks in the chat, and we'll go from there. So like I say, everyone have yourself a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. Talk about these kind of things to as many people as you can in your own community or in your personal connections, and see if you can't get more and more people to be enticed into learning about liberty. Because like I say, it's something that's going to benefit them and the rest of us at the end of the day. So take it easy. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next stream. This is Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.